Hello guys, and now that even the dying Russian economy reacted to Donald Trump's speeches yesterday, I feel the right to react as a Ukrainian. All the messages that I am going to comment on are about Ukraine. I'm not going to judge American politics, your choice, or anything else. But there are a number of very false messages that some people do not know how to debunk, and unfortunately, many still suffer from what we call normalcy bias. Actually, you, my dear friends, introduced me to this term at the very beginning of my vlogging when I told you I did not believe that the full-scale invasion was possible with no reason, with such violence, and then it happened. And you've explained to me that this is my normalcy bias. Being a normal person, acting normally, it was impossible for me to predict something that absurd. And right now I see that a lot of good people are trying to find some hidden motives, some, a very complex chess play, when there are obviously a lot of very red flags signaling that these discussions about the potential negotiations are going in a very wrong direction. And I will be extremely politically correct, but I believe that for the safety and security of this world, we have to openly discuss these problems that are already very visible. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat of Russia, this is the only way to achieve lasting peace. Subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. And let's start with the greatest problem. That is the end of Putin's isolation, and not just the end of Putin's isolation, but a lot of positive comments that President Trump expressed yesterday when talking about the Kremlin Goblin. He said that they are world leaders, he mentioned common sense, and he brought Putin from this total swamp of global isolation to the peak of the global politics. And this is definitely a legitimization of a war criminal responsible for the invasion of a number of countries and for the death of thousands of innocent civilians, the destruction of hospitals, schools, Kakhovka Dam, and many more things. So this is very wrong. No one can speak with Putin as a president. He is a war criminal. And mentioning an invitation to the White House, I cannot imagine someone inviting Hitler to the White House. And Putin is a modern day Hitler. Unfortunately, the situation reminds me 1938 and the conference in Munich. 2-0 is coming. I want to be wrong, but this is indeed very dangerous. Then, when talking about the potential negotiations, the head of Pentagon in advance says that Ukraine will never be in NATO and we cannot speak about the borders of 1991. Even if you are prepared to advise us not to speak about territories and to stay out of NATO, though I don't know why, because right now we are the only country that can protect you against Russia. So anyway, even if you know you will try to make us do that, why is talking about that in advance actually taking away all the potential negotiation points? So what are the negotiations going to be about? Then, when we are not talking about any compromises for Russia, why do we call it like an agreement but not a capitulation advice for Ukraine? Because we are supposed not to enter NATO, and all of us understand that NATO is the only reason that could stop Putin from future advances. But honestly, right now, I believe he saw that NATO is broken too. That's exactly how we feel in Ukraine. So then he's given territories. He's promised that Ukraine is never in NATO. So for all of his war crimes, for all the destruction that he brought to Ukraine, and for the broken world order, and trust me, a lot of consequences that all of us will feel in the next years, he is given territories, and he is considered a competitor, not an enemy, as President Trump mentioned. If I'm mistaken, and that's okay, please let me know in the comments below and subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with the people of Ukraine. This is very important for us. Another humiliation that was really difficult for me to watch was Trump's answer about the participation of Ukraine in this negotiation process, and he did not mention that he sees us as a separate party. He did not mention the European Union, by the way, too. It's just between him and Putin. Well, first of all, no one gave you the right to sign any treaties for Ukraine. And believe me, we are determined to stay strong and to protect our independence and sovereignty. We have paid a very high price, but at the same time, we understand we don't want to be Russia, because what many, and I'm sorry, silly people think is peace, in reality is just giving Ukraine to Russia so that killings will happen silently without you watching that online because of Russian censorship. Can you imagine what can happen, for example, for a person like me if Putin becomes the president of the country I live in? You won't see it because there won't be like YouTube. That's the only thing that you actually do by giving up and telling Russia that for all this violence and crimes that it did to the world, not just to Ukraine, it will get new territories and a promise that NATO is not working. Also, I hate it when Trump repeats that Ukrainians should not go to war. We didn't go. We defend our land inside of our borders. It is so crazy to forget about the fact that it is Russia that invaded Ukraine. And also, when talking about the territories that belong to Ukraine, Trump states that, Russians died for these territories. I'm sorry, it was their choice to cross the border. And the fact that they were ready to neutralize so many of their people and at the same time to destroy my country, you want to reward them. This is insane, and this definitely has no explanation. Now, let's come to those theories that many good people have, trying to find some hidden plot or super maneuver that Trump is using. Well, first of all, many say he's trying to push Europe to back up Ukraine and that he wants to frighten Europe. Okay, but why is he constantly frightening the allies? Why is he constantly frightening Europe but not Russia? Why is he praising Russia, saying that Putin is a world leader, a competitor, and has common sense, but at the same time he despises Europe, which is a very big group of countries, a good market for the United States, and a very trustworthy partner, and actually did not invade or undermine anyone? Why is the tactics to frighten friends and not to frighten Russia? Then many say it is because Trump understands that China is a greater evil, and he needs, I don't know, to sacrifice Eastern Europe because it's not going to end with Ukraine if we give up, for the sake of this global peace with China, and he will make Russia friends with America. Why? Why do you think so? Why do you think that, I don't know, giving Ukraine to Russia, which won't happen because there are strong people of Ukraine and we have friends in Europe, I know that. But why do you think that this can make Russia friends with the United States more than with China? Russia, and first of all, Russia is already under the control of China. Russia is very poor, and it's obvious that it will collapse sometime soon, its economy, everything. They have developed and trained army, and they can mobilize more people on the occupied territories of Ukraine. That's what they are doing right now. And people join that army not because they want to, but because they are tortured or their children are stolen and taken away. So anyway, what makes him think that this maneuver or deal will make him a friend of the United States and an enemy of China. Russia and China share a lot of things, starting from the communist history and this attitude that population shares. There is no way that Putin will choose America over China. I guarantee you 1,000%, more than anything else that I've said here. And another thing that I did not like, and perhaps you didn't, is that today the Secretary of Defense, the head of the Pentagon, mentioned that US Navy is much weaker than the Navy of Russia. Look at us, Ukrainians. We have destroyed Russian Black Sea fleet, so you need us. We can keep destroying Russia and Russian fleet to make this world a safe place. But honestly, I feel worried, and worried not just for Ukraine, but for all of us, because this greatly resembles the beginning of the Third World War. It just repeats the time of the Second World War. We are not going to become Russia. We are not going to let Putin destroy all of our country and kill all of our people, because that's the plan. That's the plan. And all these chaotic, very absurd, childish messages that hide the truth behind them. Don't you want peace? Guys, do not equate capitulation, betrayal to peace. I'm advised by so many people, don't mention Budapest Memorandum, we don't like it. And I don't like it how you treat people who gave up their nuclear weapons. And now many feel angry when we say that we can develop nuclear weapons to protect ourselves, because it's actually our scientists who did that in the USSR. So it's not that we have to start from zero. So then once again, sometimes it does give me a feeling like, oh my God, why don't you disappear just like all of these problems with you? But I can tell you something even worse. If we disappear, the problem with Putin will not disappear. Perhaps these are the last months that we can demonstrate decisiveness and strength. Trump won't do that because he gave up on all the negotiations positions even before they started. And actually, no one gave him the right to compose that agreement instead of us. I think we deserve it. Let me know, what do you think? I read all of the comments. I'm very grateful for your kind messages and your support. And please support the campaign to get more drones to the Ukrainian defenders, because they keep demilitarizing Russia, and that's the best peace plan. Here I connect the link, and every donation makes us very, very happy. I had a lot of trolls coming and saying that I'm posting this because US aid ended. I don't want to feel like that, and it's not about that, but weapons are also very important, and I'm very grateful for any kind of support that you can demonstrate to our 81st and 82nd Brigade. Here in Ukraine, we were very disappointed yesterday. And today we feel like it's nothing new, actually, but we have to remain strong. We remember how at the start of the invasion, no one believed we can withstand more than 3 days, and look at us now, 3 years with Kursk controlled by the Ukrainian troops. So I believe something good is waiting us in the future, but perhaps Trump won't be a part of that. Once again, if I'm wrong, I will be very happy to be mistaken. Join me on X, it's toxic. Join me on Blue Sky, it's comfortable. Find me on Instagram, Threads, and we have a good Discord community. Let me know if you're available this Saturday for our traditional live. There are lots of things I want to talk with you about. Check our merch shop. We were more positive before all of this news and prepared a good discount, minus 14% on all the items that work well as St. Valentine's presents. Let's speak about this serious love to democracy, freedom, and Ukraine. And thank you so much for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Thank you so much for all this understanding. I was worried that many people will unsubscribe, but at this moment in history, I cannot remain neutral and express concerns. I'm not about escalation management. I'm always about honesty. Slava Ukraina!